Hi there, everyone. Welcome in. Basically, today, what I'm going to do is I just want to quickly go over the top 5 mistakes that home buyers can make when dealing around the home inspection. And actually, at the end, I'm going to give you a sixth one to really think about and make sure that you are protected in the process. So, actually, let's go right into it. Let's start with mistake number one. Well, mistake number one is not having a home inspection. There are a number of people for different circumstances that say, well, you know what, how important could a home inspection be? Well, the reality is for the $500 or whatever you're spending on the inspection, think of it almost like as an insurance policy. The home inspector is going to go through and try and give you the errors of the home. And so basically, what I'm saying there is that they're looking for problems. And if you paid $500 and had no problems, then it would be a relief and you'd be able to proceed. Now, the reality is, even in brand new homes, we see problems come up. So I highly recommend getting the home inspection. Now, as we move on to mistake number two, that is hiring the cheapest inspector. Sometimes you get what you pay for. And the reality is that you'd have to ask yourself, why are they so inexpensive? Are they just nice people and want to have you have more money in the pocket? Well, the likelihood is no. The reality probably is that they're new to the industry. Maybe they're not very skilled. Maybe they're not great people person. So their bedside manner kind of sucks. So they don't have that ability to be able to interact with you. And maybe some home inspectors just can't. They can see the issue and they understand what the issue is, but they can't communicate what that situation is. So that may be another reason. So be careful that you don't just pick the cheapest. All right. I definitely would check for reviews from your friends, your realtors, even Google. Go to Google My Business and see. Now, the third mistake is not going to the home inspection. Some people say, you know what, I'm going to get a report, so I don't really need to show up. It's 3 hours of my time. Maybe I don't want to take that time off work, whatever the reason is. The reality is, guys, it's really important that we are there, because what you're going to be able to do is see what the issues are and actually have a better understanding than just try and figure it out by a small little photo that appears in your report. So I strongly recommend making that time and going to the inspection. But that kind of leads us into mistake number 4, not engaging during the inspection. I'm a big believer that you follow the home inspector around. Don't climb on the roof with them or end up in dangerous situations, but definitely follow them around so that when a home inspector sees something, they can stop, point it out, so you can have a better understanding than, once again, trying to figure it out on that picture. And another thing is, a lot of home inspectors will not only say, okay, this is an issue, not a big issue, it's probably something you want to take care of, but they help you understand how to take care of the maintenance on that. They may give you some ideas that are beyond the writing in the report. And if you don't understand what's going on, ask the questions. Now, be careful. Don't ask too many questions that aren't relevant to that event or that issue or that situation, because the problem is, if we start taking them off on these tangents, what's going to happen is we're going to run out of time and the home inspector is going to feel rushed. We don't want the home inspector to be rushed. We want the home inspector to take as much time as they need to be able to fully evaluate the home. Now, the fifth mistake is expecting a perfect report. There is no home out there that has never had an issue. Even brand new homes have this issue. Now, basically, what I say is the home inspector's job isn't to give it a pass or a fail. Their job is to tear the home apart, to create a complete list of details and issues with the home. I joke, it's kind of a honey-do list, right? So after you move into the home, one of the spouses can put the honey-do list on the fridge and say, okay, it's Saturday, honey, do the list. And so you're able to go through and pluck through some of the maintenance that's there. Now, the reality is there may be some big issues that are there. You're going to have 3 choices. You're going to be able to accept the report as is and go fix the major issues. You're going to be able to walk away from the home and say, no, you know what? This is too big for me. This scares me. Or you can find some negotiating in between. Sometimes we see there's some items that we say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, that really should have been done before we took a look at it. And we won't take it unless you do that. Or there are some issues that we go, you know what, that's a bigger issue and I really want it done. is there some way that we can negotiate some price between there? So there is some of those options. Now, if you get to the point where you say, okay, Mr. Home Seller, Mr. and Mrs. Home Seller, here's the 3 things that we'd really like to have corrected. Maybe it is tightening a handrail and changing a seal on a toilet, for example. Well, if those are the items that you're wanting them to complete, then what we want to do is make sure that you have the ability to go back in and be able to inspect the work after the inspection. Now, we don't bring an inspector back, but the reality is we want to be able to do that walkthrough. In every single transaction that I do, I write in a clause that allows you, the buyer, to get into the home within 48 hours of closing. What that means is before you give, or your lawyer gives their lawyer the money, you have the ability to walk back through the home one more time and take a look and just make sure there is no surprises. One of the things you're looking for is, did they do the things they said they were going to do? Number 2, any big holes in the walls or all of a sudden new deficiencies that have appeared that weren't there, when you did the inspection. Making sure that whatever you're thinking was going to be left is still there. So, for example, the stove, the fridge, the washer, dryer. Even if their furniture is still there and you're walking through and go, hold it, they haven't even moved yet. It's just a nice peace of mind knowing, okay, we walked through, it's still as we expect, and away we go. And so that is the final bonus tip: is make sure when you're thinking about hiring a realtor, ask them, what are some unique features and tools that they put into the contract to be able to protect you, so that these terms and conditions are able to give you these additional options? Because this is one thing that I would want my realtor to do when I went to buy a house, to make sure that I was given that opportunity at the end of closing. So anyway, thanks for popping in. These are the 5 biggest mistakes plus one bonus tip on what home buyers make when it comes to home inspections. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.